This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop News, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Sarasota election. Basically, you got the pro-stop people against, I wouldn't say anti-stop, I'd say pro-development. There's basically, it's funny, you know, Sarasota has this nonpartisan. It's just like Venice, nonpartisan. But it's hard to be nonpartisan because a lot of your actions, a lot of your views are going to be partisan. And they're showing it here in Sarasota, and it illustrates just exactly why. The Democratic Party is essentially behind their candidates. They actually have two, and they favor one over the other in some ways. And the Republican Party is behind Heidi. You know, and you see that stuff all the time in these nonpartisan elections, which is why it's a farce, and they should just do away with it. So you got these political parties out there, and they're supporting their candidates. They will do it directly. They do it through PACs. It's amazing. When I decided to run and just piss off our local mayor here, I found out how the money just floats, and you basically loan the money to another division, and they'll give it to you. And there's so many ways to skirt around some of the election money laws, and I didn't want to partake in it, but it just amazed me. So you got two registered Democrats, one registered Republican in this nonpartisan fight. Their operatives are out there, and they're letting the voters know which one's affiliated with their party. Ahearn-Koch is a Democrat, Brody is a Democrat, and there you have it. Basically, they're looking at the comparisons. Now, if you look at it, Ahearn-Koch, she's a leader of STOP, S-T-O-P. It's an acronym. I just started seeing it a few months ago. They basically are coming out. They're not really anti-growth. They don't mind the development, but they want it under controlled, sustainable growth, I would say, especially when it comes to the high-rises downtown. And she basically wants to get rid of it's being reported that she wants to get rid of the administrative review processes, which allow the city and staff to approve projects without public hearings. I think that's key, and I think she's right there. I think the residents should be involved in these processes instead of the bureaucrats at the city level, county level, or any level for that matter. I believe that Brody has a different view. His view is more of, you know, the city should be able to approve new developments without input from the residents. And that's maybe why Ahearn-Koch she was the main vote getter before this runoff. People are saying, wait, we want involvement. You guys work for us. Too many times you go in, it's funny. You go to these meetings, like I was at a planning commission / city hall meeting yesterday, and these politicians think they're elitist. They're up on their throne, and we should all be on our knees, kissing their feet. Wrong. They work for us. We are the employers. We pay them. We're not subservient to them, and they got to change that around, and that's what Ahearn-Koch is saying. No, the city needs the residents involved here. You know, they're on the attack. Obviously, both guys, the Republican and the other Democrat, are on the attack against her because she was the main vote getter, and they want that seat. You know, right now, I would say that the person that's in trouble right now is probably Hagen Brody, because Ahearn had most of the votes. I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe that most of the Democratic powers, the power brokers, are behind Brody versus Ahearn-Koch. And so they're putting their money behind him to try to get him in the running, and the Republicans are obviously supporting their guy. What's his name? Hayden. So she's out there. They're running. It's mainly this is a vote on, do we want development or not? Brody and Martin Hyde, the Republican, are both pro-development, and they're against STOP. They've both criticized STOP. Again, that it's an activist group out there trying to work for the residents. So it's up to you guys. You know, someone like Brody believes in he believes in more of a Main Street, downtown centric, strong regulations and the zoning codes and stuff like that, whereas Hyde is pushing more of a laissez-faire, you know, let them be, which is more Republican. More Republican don't want that government interference in there. If it were, you know, me looking in, the outsider looking in, I see a bunch of Republican dollars floating over to Hyde, and I think he'll win one of the seats. I think Ahearn has too much populist. She's the populist vote. I think too many people support her because she's more of a person for the people. Now, she might run into trouble if the Democratic powers and the PACs out there can attack her enough and and throw enough money behind her opponent. So we'll see what happens, though. It's right around the corner. Voting's going to be coming up, and the top 2 out of those 3 will get the ticket for the 2 roaming city council seats. I'm just glad Chapman's out of there. So this has been Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop News.